Hey guys, Mage Kate here, and I decided to take a week off from YouTube just to think about content. Videos that are coming up ahead, recording, quality, you know, all the good stuff. And I feel like it's time to get serious. Welcome to the Double Tap Show. Problem amazed with taking that week off is that was the exact same week that Treyarch decided not to drop one, but two trailers. And that's actually what I want to talk about today. Because out of the 6 weapons coming with Season 2, I think that there's one that might change the meta. But before we start, if you're part of that 73% that watches my videos and is still not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button and turn your notifications on to get notified when my videos go live. And now with that out of the way, let's get into the video. So as many of you know, there was an absolute truck dump of information regarding the upcoming season for Black Ops Cold War. We are talking 2 trailers, new maps, operators, new modes, and the zombie outbreak thing that looks absolutely dope, along with what seemingly might be the end of Verdansk as we know it. And I'll be making a video about that soon, so stay tuned. But today, I want to talk weapons. More specifically, one weapon that might change Warzone as we know it. Starting off, Treyarch released a roadmap that showed a total of 6 weapons that will be dropping within Season 2. And let's get 2 out of the way, those being the melee weapons. First, we have the E-Tool, a tactical shovel. And the other melee weapon is a machete, seen here being used by John Marston from Rockstar's Red Dead Redemption. The thing with melee weapons is that I consider them to be more like tweaks to the current melee weapon rather than a whole separate weapon. Compare the sledgehammer to the tactical knife, for example, and the sledgehammer has a further attack distance but a lower attack speed. Almost like adding a barrel that increases your damage range but hurts your fire rate. I don't know if you guys are following me here. I would personally consider this to be more like attachments rather than whole separate weapons. But now, let's get to the actual weapons of this update. First up, we have what is known as the LC-10. This is an SMG available for free in Tier 31 of the Battle Pass. The closest thing that I can find in real life to this weapon is actually the Walther MPL from Black Ops 1. Some quick real life stats is that the Walther MPL is German, chambered in 9mm, with an effective range of 100 meters, and a rate of fire of 550 rounds per minute. I believe that it's going to fill in that slot of the SMG/assault rifle hybrid, like what we see with the Striker 45 from Modern Warfare. This SMG will most likely have the best in class range, low firepower, manageable recoil, and an okay fire rate. According to the Call of Duty blog post, this SMG is a well-rounded, full auto submachine gun. The LC-10 grants CQB operators the ability to stretch fights out into mid-range on a smaller, agile weapon platform, thanks to its solid accuracy and extended effective damage range. Although its damage per shot is on the lower end of the SMG spectrum, its above average fire rate and lower recoil can prove to be a deadly combination. The thing is that when it comes to Warzone, this gun won't shake things up. Having better range, low recoil, and fast fire rate really doesn't matter if you don't have a good enough firepower to back it up. Take a look at the M13 for example. Has great range, good fire rate, extremely low recoil, but it takes 11 to 13 bullets to kill. Therefore, it's not meta. Moving on to the next weapon we see on the trailer, it's the Farah 83, available for free at Tier 15 in the Battle Pass. This is pretty much a Galil, but unlike the Galil Ace version that we see in Modern Warfare, the one shown here seems to be the Galil ARM version coming out of Israel. This weapon is chambered in 7.62 with an effective range of 300 meters and a rate of fire of 650 rounds per minute. When I first saw this weapon, I thought they would actually handle it like they do every year by making it a direct competitor to the AK-47. However, the Call of Duty blog post states that the Farah 83 is a fully automatic assault rifle and it's a heavyweight among its peers, as it claims one of the fastest fire rates in its class and an outstanding effective range for solid damage. In the hands of a capable operator, the Farah 83 can be a true force of crushing the opposition. From everything that we gather here from this post, this thing is looking like a hyper fire rate, good effective range, but low damage. And we can take that for where it says solid damage. That wording doesn't seem too impressive to me. To put things into perspective, I feel like this gun is going to be like another Kilo 141 rather than a traditional Galil that we've seen before in the past. The next weapon that we see in the trailer is a crossbow, and it's rather underwhelming. There's not much to go off here. The description says that it's lightweight and quiet, and then immediately goes into talking about optics. This crossbow will most likely fall under the special category along with the thumper. And I can also bet my bottom dollar there's going to be a one-shot kill and feature both a gas arrow and an explosive arrow. And then we get to the final weapon here on offer for Season 2, the ZRG 20mm sniper. The closest comparison to this weapon is the Denel NTW-20, chambered in, you guessed it, 20mm. To put this into perspective, this is almost twice the size of a 50 caliber, and it's actually an anti-material rifle with an effective damage range of 1500 plus meters. I think that when the sniper releases, it's really going to change the landscape in Warzone and fundamentally change how long-range engagements are fought. I don't think Call of Duty has ever seen this sheer of power in any single weapon. If I had to guess, I would say that the aim down sight time would be through the roof. And if I had to guess, I would say north of 900 milliseconds. I also expect the fire rate to be slow. But the blog post states that this sniper was built for sharpshooters who need power to eliminate targets at extremely long ranges. This bolt-action sniper rifle boasts a faster bullet velocity than any other weapon in its class, as well as the ability to eliminate operators with a single shot to the head, chest, or shoulders, in exchange for a slower fire rate. Its reload speed are among the fastest in the category, allowing snipers to quickly change out magazines when faced with multiple hostile forces. What I'm gathering from that description is that this thing is absolutely going to dominate the Warzone meta. If we take the context clues, it has one of the fastest reloads, meaning that it sits somewhere between the bolt action snipers and the M82. The actual bolt action, it's slower because it packs such a heat. It definitely needs to have a slower bolt action than the Pellington and the Tundra. But the thing to note here is that it has the best-in-class bullet velocity. From the looks of it, this is not meant to compete with the SPR-08 or the Kar-98. It's more likely to trade shots with the HCR. And even though the HCR has been quiet in Verdansk, it is still, to this day, the most accurate sniper with little to no bullet drop. Also, Cold War weapons have super attachments, where a simple handle will reduce your aim down sight time by 30%. Real quick example is that the HCR with the best barrel, that being the 26.9 and a suppressor, will set you back to 743 milliseconds. And even if the CRG 20mm has an aim down sight time of 900 milliseconds, which is something that's never been seen before in Call of Duty, mind you, adding just the elastic wrap will speed it up all the way down to 630 milliseconds. So we're talking about a 100 millisecond difference to what sounds like a hard-hitting, true long-range sniper with best-in-class bullet velocity. This is just speculation, but I personally think that when this sniper is released, it's gonna dominate the Warzone meta left and right. And I know that I'm beating the dead horse here, but we are talking about a more aggressive HDR that is just as accurate. But that about wraps it up for me today. As for my opinion on the whole update, I think that the weapon selection here is pretty good. Nothing seems to stand out, but it's a pretty good variety. That CRG 20mm looks like a force to be reckoned with. But now, it's time for me to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about this new sniper being the next meta weapon? Do you agree? Let me know down in the comment section below. As always, a like rating is always appreciated. Also, follow me over on Twitch. And that's about it for me today. I'm Major Cade, and I thank you for watching.